Oh, there we go. We should be streaming now. We should be live. I'll just bring up. Anyway, before we get. Hello, everyone. Andrea, Tom, how's it
G'day.
going?
Hello, Tom
Not
and
too
Paul. How are
badly.
you?
Yeah. Just don't mind me for a moment. I'm just going crazy, checking that we are streaming. I think we are streaming. We should be streaming. Yep. Yes, we're live. We've been live for about 23 seconds, so that's all right. That's good. How's
Something producing
how's
now is dead end. So,
yeah. Nothing better than dead air. Yeah.
yeah,
The career-ending dead air.
exactly. The bane of every radio presenter
Yep.
in the entire world.
Yeah.
Scares them.
Yep.
Been on the radio a few times in previous jobs, and we get taught in the media, if they don't ask you a question, you don't got to say nothing. And so, like, they'll go blah blah blah, and they're like, "Well, no questions," so you don't respond.
Yeah. Yep.
Starts really panicked when there's dead air. It's like, oh, so
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
Tom, what have you been up to?
Well, recently I just covered the Super Jesus gig up at the Kareem
Yep.
for the tail end of the massive tour they did, and you'll be able to find that article on the Pop Rock Radio website.
Yep. No,
Um,
groovy.
Thoroughly enjoyed myself. They were also supported by Morgan Janelle, who
Yep.
is a Perth artist who won a contest to be in the supporting act. Very good artist, very bluesy.
Yep.
Have you heard of Morgan Janelle, Andrew?
I haven't actually, Tom. So I'm going to have to look them up because they sound great. And yeah, always up for new music. Always. Sorry, I've got a dog with me.
That's right. I got two snoring away. Normally they're killing each other.
He just went, decided it was too boring. So yeah.
Yep. And we had
Obviously not.
we had a photographer go to the Old Mervs. I was supposed to go do a review. I just couldn't make it. Had some family things I had to take care of on Saturday. So, but yeah, we had a photographer go there. So we got some great photos. So we'll be doing an article on the Old Mervs because they're about to do a tour of America, I think.
Are they really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They've either
Good.
they've either come back or they're let me see. I'll just Old Mervs. There they are. There. Bring up their website. Yeah, from July 16th, they'll be in San Diego. All the way to August, they'll be in August 14th. They're in America for a month.
Yeah, nice. American summer too. Good time to go.
Yeah, so we'll get our article out in time for that to really push it for them as well.
Sweet.
We've got some good photos. Yeah.
Well, I hope they have a great time and win some new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got to do this again now. What's going on with Around the Sound? There's a nice big banner there.
So there is. No, I recognise that. So that is Dr. Cuz,
Yeah.
Paul Cousins. And I did talk about him a couple of episodes ago saying the review was coming up. So it's now up and live.
Yep.
There's a nice video that goes along with that as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a collaboration with Peter Anzulo, who we all know, and a very mysterious Perth rapper called With a Z, who I've never met, and Paul won't give me any details on, but he keeps popping up on Paul's recordings, as he has on this one. Yeah, it's a really interesting song. Paul's what can I say, a political campaigner from way back, and there are very few songs that he writes that are just love songs or just this is what I did today sort of songs. And this one fits into his oeuvre very nicely. It's a really interesting piece of music, and it's takes a really nice pot shot at the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezoses and all of the top end of town, the billionaire type people who are sucking up all the money, all the resources, and just need to go to Mars immediately and leave us alone. We don't they? So,
yeah. And
so
you got,
Preaching to the choir.
and your course is there?
Yeah, and the course is there. I'm going to start pushing that probably from sometime this week. I've been sitting on it for a while,
Yeah.
thinking about it. And I'm going to start doing some pushing on Facebook and Instagram and some advertising. I'm going to start focusing initially on Perth because that's where we are slightly known.
Yep.
And see what happens and then build it out from there. So I think it'll be a bit of a slow burn, but I think it'll be a good one once people kind of get hold of it. So that's a couple of things.
Yep.
Um,
And the difference with your one is it's a lot more affordable for bands and musicians than a lot of other stuff as well.
Yeah, look, I did that really deliberately because the internet's a bad place full of bad people trying to separate you from your money these days. It's a reflection of humanity, of course. And so I really wanted to give musos an opportunity to, have a framework to do their own work, to support their own careers. And, there's no strings attached. You pay $40 Australian and you get access to the course. Not sure calling it a course sort of overstates it a bit, but there's 5 videos and 5 booklets. There's 30 plus minutes of video. There's more than 60, 70 pages of support materials that go with that, and it steps people through processes in terms of what they can do themselves. And it's based on hundreds of interviews with artists at all stages of their career, from people just starting out, through to the likes of Paul Kelly, Ian Moss. People have been there, done that, and know what it takes to have a successful career. So, it's reasonably well researched, on its cheapest chips, and it's never going to ask you for more.
Yep.
Once you're there, you get full lifetime access, and it's the sort of thing that, because it's quite a rich resource, because there's quite a lot of content there, it's something that you'll dip into and keep coming back to as you sort of do the planning. You'll have an opportunity, say, to engage with the media, and you might go back and say, okay, how do I get the best out of my time with the media? And there's a little module on that. So yeah, it's there. I think people will enjoy it as well as get some value out of it. And it certainly is not ever going to promise you 1 million streams on Spotify and 10,000 followers tomorrow on Instagram or any of that sort of nonsense. And it's never going to ask you for more money. It's just sitting there. People can use it as they like. Once we've got a few people on board, then we've got a private Facebook group. And what I intend to do is to maybe once a month have a bit of a live event on Facebook for anyone who's interested, and look at a specific topic, and we can share information. People can share their questions or their successes or their failures, and we can work together as a community to try and help people have a leg up in what is a very difficult industry, but one that keeps attracting people because it's also a beautiful industry too.
Yep. Yeah, well, hopefully people will start signing up for it. So they,
great.
Yeah. Well,
nothing good happens overnight, and I guess that's the epitome of what I'm trying to say in this, is that at the heart of it, my learning from the interviews that I've done is that it takes about 10 years for a musician's career to take off. So if you're ever going to be an overnight sensation, there's 10 years worth of hard work before you get to that point, which sounds, like really hard, like a hill or a mountain that's too high to climb. But if you think about it in terms of other professions, it's a similar sort of amount of time from beginning to actually beginning to achieve some success. There are very few professions that you can walk into and be top of the heap straight away. You've got to serve your time one way or the other. You've got to get your qualifications. You've got to prove your worth. You've got to network. You've got to engage, all of those things. And I think it's good for people to know that, music's no different. It takes hard work.
Yeah.
It takes sustained hard work.
Excuse me, my dogs are they're having a Mexican standoff at the moment. But they're not facing each other. They're like side to side.
Oh my goodness. That's sometimes a good thing when they're doing that.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on them. Are they big dogs?
One's a French
I,
bulldog, one's a
I,
British bulldog. So they're like,
You're all right. Okay.
and they're like, I'm gonna turn my head to the right. You better not be looking at me when I do that.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're
Oh
like,
my. It's,
yeah.
yeah, that can be a bit of a problem.
Oh.
Let's talk dogs for a minute, shall we?
Hold on
You
a
let the
minute.
dogs.
Yeah, one of them's just walked backwards, and the other, they're like, oh no, this is going to end in tears. So,
But I remember the first time I saw my dog walk backwards, and I'm like, my jaw dropped. I thought, oh, dogs can't walk backwards, but apparently they can. I've never seen it happen before.
yeah,
You haven't?
Yeah.
oi.
Truly.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
What about when you told them to back up out of the kitchen? They usually walk backwards.
yeah, no. Yeah, there's a turning circle there. Like in my sort of loungy area, there's a table sort of in the middle, and the space either side of it's not that big, and that's where I saw
Ah,
sort
Yeah.
of walk backwards. It's sort of like, they just backed out, and I'm like, now I do the truck noises for them. But I don't know why I've been my entire life, but when I first saw it happen, my little jaw dropped. I'm like, God, dogs can't walk backwards, can they? But yes, they can.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, what we might do, because we've got to, I've got to do this again. How do I? Oh gosh. Oh dear. I've got to exit.
it's okay.
out
I've
of-
got the gig guide open on my.
I want to put it on the screen though. That's better now. There we go. So now we can see it on the screen.
The wonderful Oceanique.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
gig that's happening next month.
Yep. What do we got coming up?
So we got coming up on my mouse is Friday. We got on the Friday.
You're glitching.
Oh, I am.
You were.
Tiny bit.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so let me just. So we got the Kick-Ons, who are a Perth band. They'll be playing at the River in Margaret River on Friday.
Yep. What date's Friday?
We have
there we
Friday
go.
the 11th.
All right. Some there on the 10th and the 11th. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was focusing on the weekend because
Yeah,
that's
that's
usually
all
when gigs happen.
Yeah.
Then we have Cav Template playing a couple shows on Friday and Saturday, the 11th and 12th, and it's like a Christmas in July show. So expect Christmas carols and all the Christmassy stuff at the the Duke of George in East Fremantle. We have the Winter Warmer at the 459 Bar, which will be a hard rock and metal show featuring the likes of Amber Down, Raw Dogs, OXen, and Toxic Dada, who are all Perth bands respectively. And
Isn't it? That's Dada. That's got to be Dada. Last week we were talking about Mama, but that's got to be Dada.
It's one day.
Toxic Dada. Or was it Toxic Dada?
It could be done.
I'll have to organise an interview with them and ask them.
Yeah.
Then on the 11th again at the Amplifier Bar, we have a metal show with Black Majesty, who are a metal band from the eastern states, and they will be supported by Silent Night, who are a Perth metal band who will be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their debut album, Command and Conquer and Command. I think that might be inspired by the video game. Probably not, but that's just my joke. We also we also have a local artist by the name of Lucy Wise, who is now located in Victoria. She'll be returning back home to Margaret River and performing a special concert at the Druids Hall in Witchcliff, which is a suburb or a little Town Shire thing of Margaret River on the 13th of July, this Sunday. And there'll be little gold coin donation for things like tea and cake and all that sort of thing.
Tea and cake at a music show.
Yeah, it's like a gig / community event.
Nice.
Yep. Cool. And then I see Carnival on the screen. They just released new music.
They have.
Yep.
I don't think I've heard it yet.
Then what else has happened? Oh, I've got I did an interview with Cloning, WA band that will be out on YouTube, on Pop Rock Radio, our main YouTube channel, in a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So the interview for Cloning, a WA band. If you want to get to know more about Cloning, they've had a number of EPs out. They've had 3 EPs out. They've been going for years, and come out of the woodwork. Got some good music coming up.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, it's amazing how many bands there are around that you never hear of until one day PR company says, "Can you want to interview these guys?" Yeah, we'll have a look at their music, and they're like, "Wow, where have you been hiding for the last decade?" But
Yep.
so yeah, that was a great interview with Felix, the lead singer, and we'll get that up. And then we've got another couple of interviews to follow after that I've got to get up as well. Flat out busy. So yeah, that's been busy. Now there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about that in our conversation that was something you just mentioned, Tom, actually about talking about Freo, and it prompted me to ask you guys about Mojo's Bar.
Oh yeah.
And did you hear that they were in the media recently? This is going back a week or 2 weeks, or within a week to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they're
Going to introduce something?
No. They were. I'm trying to think. I might have to pull up see if I can find the interview that they did. But they were saying that they were going to. I think they were going to close down, or they're on their last. They're on their last. Here it is. New owners. On Perth now. This was the date was 16th of June. So this was 16th of June. New owners of iconic Mojo's Bar asked for financial help to ensure plans to save the live music venue go ahead. Right. And they're appealing for funding to help bring their transformative vision of the North Fremantle institution to life. Like the current owners have had it for a couple of years. They bought it, and then now they've raised a GoFundMe. They started a GoFundMe to get money for people to pay to donate money to the bar, to the pub, right? And the money's for new furniture, beer taps, upgrade the sound and lighting system, and a new kitchen where they plan to serve family-style Greek Cypriot food.
Say again, what sort of food?
Greek and Cypriot from Cyprus. From Cyprus.
Oh.
Right. We need your help. One of the owners has said, not just to survive, but to grow into something even stronger than can sustain itself in the future. I want to know, is it right for a bar and a venue? I know people do GoFundMes for all sorts of things. If they were running that business properly, they wouldn't have to go raise me a GoFundMe to say, please give us money to buy new equipment.
That is a very good point.
Interesting question.
Because they need to raise something like 16,000 for a new bar. Now these people, the people who own the bar is a holy trinity of bar failure management, right? One of the owners is a band manager, one's a DJ, and the other one's a bar manager. That's the Holy
Who's the
Trinity.
and Paul, the
Huh?
owner?
Pardon?
I know Tony and Paul. Who's the other owner?
It's Mr. Papa Adams.
Tony, he's a muso, and
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, that's it. It was a musician, DJ, and a bar manager.
DJ.
Pardon?
Who's the other one? I didn't. Who's the
Uh,
other one? There's a,
I had to
hang on.
do some digging around because I don't think it's in this article. Otherwise, it's
Michael Benson. Oh, Fremantle architect Michael Benson. So yeah, I think.
no, he
Michael-
sold it. He
not
sold.
sure.
I'm pretty sure he sold it to him.
He's in the photo. I'm just Perth Now article now, and he's in the photo with Tony
Oh, there they go. Yeah, Tony Papa Adams.
and Paul and Michael Benson and
Yep.
Angie Cole and Willow Ferns, who are both incredible local Perth musos. Willow does sound at Mojo's, and Angie runs the bar as well. So you know they're pretty integral to the operation. I've got to declare a conflict of interest in this conversation because I know all of those people except for Michael.
Yep.
And I think what they're so I'll declare my conflict of interest right up front. But I think they're doing a bloody awesome job of transforming what is a Perth institution that we can't afford to lose. And while you were talking, Paul, they asked for 16,000 on the GoFundMe.
Yep.
If we looked at the people speaking as an indication of whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, they've raised $19,000+ so far. So the people are speaking and putting money down.
Yeah,
I actually think it's okay.
I just think it's as from a business point of view. If the venue is running and making a profit, right? So all the money that they've asked for the donations do not actually go towards making more profit.
No, they're going
yeah,
to the
they-
refurbishment of the venue, and what was
Yeah, they go to maintenance.
needed some refurbishment. So I know that they've invested their own money in this, and I
Yeah.
know they're not flush, they're not millionaires like us. They're not millionaires,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
they're invested totally in a Perth music institution, and they're reaching out to the community for help. I actually think that's okay. I think that's a good thing, and I reckon what they're doing to reinvigorate Mojo's will see it run for another 10, 20, 30, 40 more years as a really viable venue. And in fact, just coincidentally, I was talking to a couple of friends, caught up with a couple of friends who both also work in the music industry. One of them is a muso, and the other one works in music management. And both women. And, they were saying it's a much more welcoming, comfortable space for me now as well. So again, declaring my conflict of interest because I'm talking these guys and what they're doing, I'm talking them up. I actually think it's okay. I think it's okay. But, I can see why there'd be other perspectives as well.
Yep.
But, I reckon it's really fun.
I'm just what concerns me. Like I don't mind people like if you ask for help, and you get the help you need to do it. That's great. And I know that they can't go into a bank and say, hey, can you loan us this amount of money? Because you can't get finance on liquor sales and things like that. They just won't do it. But a lick of paint and some new furniture is not going to make that place run any more profitable.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
they're asking for this money. How long more down the track until they say, "Oh, look, we need to. Can we ask? We're not making. We're still not making money. Can we ask again?" It's a business. I understand that they do like bring bands in there, and I've seen a few different bands there. And they've brought some really good names over that we've been in and seen. But if the business model's not making money, how is the liquor paint? And I think asking money to do this to upgrade it, and they're going to have Greek Cypriot family food. So what's that coming at a cost of? What are they going to get rid of to have that in there?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then how long down the track till they realise they go, oh, we need some more money?
Well, okay, so go on, Tom.
This is just my.
Um,
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying what they're doing is a bad thing or whatever. I'm just putting this out
Yeah.
as a conversation piece.
For sure.
yeah,
for sure.
I was just going to ask, are you afraid that something that they sacrifice if they go the more family-friendly route would be no gigs as much?
But they're going to you've been in there. You've seen how small and tight it is.
Yeah.
And they've got they've got a beer garden out the back. Where is this stuff going to go? And are they going to reduce the band size, the green? Because they've got to get there's the green room you've got to have when you have the bands and the rest of it.
Have you seen the green room at Mojo's?
Yeah. Yeah.
They've expanded the beer garden out the back, and so what they've done, so they've kept the band room, same capacity.
Yep.
And they've done it up, right? They've expanded the beer garden out the back, which is where all of these other things will be. So there's a bar there, you can get food there, and you can actually go to Mojo's through that part without actually having to go and see a band. So they're expanding their business base basically, because you can go to it as a bar, or you can then go through and pay your cover charge and go through and see a band as well. But you used to have to go, when you went to Mojo's, whether you wanted to see the band or not. And I know a lot of people go there to hang out in the, beer garden at the back. And, it's a great hangout place. So now they've enabled people to come and, have some food, have a drink, whatnot, without necessarily having to go see a band. The band room is still the same. But I'm just thinking about it too. And like the Bird did a similar thing a while ago and are still fundraising. But there's a difference here, I think, and I could be wrong, but there's a difference here. The Bird were looking for money, and quite a substantial amount of money, and still looking for money to support their ongoing operations so they could pay their bills, right? Mojo's, from the amount that we're looking at, are looking for money to help them with finishing this refurbishment.
Yep.
Because if they were looking for money for their ongoing bills, they'd be asking for a hell of a lot more than $16,000.
Yeah.
So I think this is like, in their business plan, and again, I could be talking complete nonsense, but I think this is like, okay, we just want the community to help us beautify the place without ruining the ambience, because Mojo's has this grungy, wonderful live music venue vibe.
Yep.
And from what I know, they've managed to make it more comfortable without ruining that grunge.
Yep.
I think if they were wanting to do more than that, if they were really in trouble business-wise, they'd be asking for a hell of a lot more than 16 grand, because that's not, that wouldn't even cover a month's worth of operations. So I think this is kind of in a different category to that. I think what the Bird has done has been also interesting, and it seems to have kept their doors open, which is good.
Yeah.
And people are voting with their feet. I'm looking at the list of people who donated, and I'm going, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person. So the Mojo's faithful are there supporting their venue, and I reckon I've got to say, and again, hand on heart, big conflict of interest, that the people at the heart of trying to sort of elevate Mojo's without spoiling its original charm, some of Perth's, oh wow, they're just good operators. They know the live music industry, and they have their hearts in the right place. And I'm hoping they haven't mortgaged their houses to do this, because they shouldn't have to take that sort of risk.
Do you think? What about the location of Mojo's? What's around it?
So it is on that sort of strip in North Freo. There's a burger bar next door. There's sort of other places along the way, but I mean, like, it's been there forever. I came to live in Australia when I was 17 back in 1981, and I remember when I was telling sort of people in my old hometown, hey, I'm going to live in Perth, one of the things that people used to say to me is, you've got to go to the Stone Crow, which is what it was called then. So it's a place that has this international reputation and ongoing. It's an icon that these people are revitalising. And yeah, I don't think there's any harm in asking people to dip into their pocket to help with that. But that's just my opinion. And like I say, I do have a bias. So
Yeah.
I'll leave my
No.
comments at
Well, that's
and
the
I
point.
think,
That's the point of the conversation. So people who have bias, because it's not. I wouldn't say it's a conflict. You said a conflict of interest. I'm not. I wouldn't have said that. I would have said that you have a bit of more insight into it than anything else. So
maybe.
it's
I think I have bias because I think the people who are doing the work are really neat people, and
well
they
that's
deserve some.
yeah. Well, that puts a different spin. That puts a different a whole different spin on it. Because what you get
Yep.
from when you're reading stuff on the internet, and you get the information from them, and then you see other clubs, like you said, the Bird, they've put their thing that they're trying to raise money, and you see all these clubs closing down and saying all the expenses, and I'm thinking, well, is it a case of the business model not working, the location, you know? When you look at Mojo's, what else is around it? So when you go out for a night out, you don't have you to get to Mojo's. It's not exactly on the way to anything.
No,
And
it's definitely a destination venue.
yeah,
I actually feel like the bigger question is this, right? So, and we talked about the whatever the government's funding for local music.
yeah,
And what WAM are doing, and you've had conversations around the gig guide, and
Yep.
they've been productive, so that's great. But I actually think that the federal as well as the state government have a cultural responsibility to make sure that they work with the owners of venues like Mojo's to ensure that they remain in place for as long as possible. And if they are loss-making enterprises, and I don't think Mojo's is a loss-making enterprise, I think it's probably healthy,
Yep.
but it just needs a little bit of support to get through this refurbishment.
because refurbishments aren't cheap.
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
Whoops. Are we allowed
No.
to swear on the radio?
Yeah, yeah,
Have you got a 7-second
Just not
delay?
the C
No.
word.
yeah. Just not the C word.
All right.
Yep.
I actually think governments have a greater responsibility to support venues like Mojo's, absolutely iconic venues like Mojo's, that are they're part of our cultural fabric, and they are as culturally valuable, I believe, as the Art Gallery of Western Australia, Boolia Bardip, the WA Museum. I think they are as culturally valuable as institutions like that governments throw billions of dollars at.
Yep.
But they don't do the same for the music industry because they don't see us as valuable enough. And I think that's the bigger question: is why aren't governments stepping up now?
Yep.
And why don't they value music as part of the arts and part of our culture as much as they do paintings and sculptures and our social and other histories?
Yep.
I think they should. They need to be persuaded to do that.
That's going to bring me to my next topic, and that is some places were saying that the expense of like the insurance and things. Would it be better for companies like businesses like Mojo's and bars like Mojo's to put a tariff on the door saying like 10% fee goes to the refurbishment or to insurances? Would you as a consumer, would you be prepared to pay a tariff when going to any pubs or clubs, knowing that tariff is covering insurance, or it's going to a refurbishment fund, or a fund that supports local bands? Would that be something that you think that consumers would prefer?
I mean, it really depends on the ticket prices. Like, so say for example, you wouldn't really have this for a Rob Thomas or
I mean
an arena show. Or anything.
No,
Yeah,
not for venues like the Bird, Mojo's, Reach a Bite, not any venues.
I knew what you were saying.
Yeah.
I was just saying you wouldn't really have this for one of those bigger arenas at venues. But it really depends on if it goes into the ticket price, like because ticket prices can be very expensive, especially if it's a bigger artist. But if it's say a local artist, and say the average price for that is say $20, and it increases the price to 25, I think that's okay. But if it's a ticket that's say $35, $40, and then they increase that by $5, then it would be a bit of an issue. It really depends on what the levy price is.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that is a cost that the big end of town could be bearing rather than the smaller end of town. So if you look at, and I was reading an article just today about the AC/DC Australian tour tickets, and they broke, the record for the
Yep.
biggest sales in a day. I
Mhm.
think it was 370,000 tickets sold. And, they're from, say, 400 to 150 to, say, 400. So if you set an average price of, I don't know, $200 a ticket, just off the top of my head, if there was a 1% levy on ticket sales of venues, say, 15,000 and above capacity, and that money then was filtered back into local venues like Mojo's and to support local music, then I think, if you're already paying $200 for a ticket, 1% of that is another $2.
Yeah.
So you're paying $202. You're not going to begrudge a small amount, but then if you multiply that by 370,000, that's 3, 6, that's nearly $1 million.
Yeah.
Straight away on the day of ticket sales for one band that then can filter back into venues to help pay the big costs like insurance. I don't know. I really think that where the big money is, that should be where the cost of nurturing the up and coming talent and the venues that support that up and coming talent. That's where the cost should be borne. I mean, if you think of AC/DC, if you go to the Raffles Hotel now, which is no longer a live music venue, but one of the first things you see in this posh, upmarket establishment now is the photos of the bands that used to play there, including AC/DC.
Yeah.
That's the places where they got their start, right? And I think if you were talking to the ticket sellers, the promoters, and the artists and their management, and you said, hey, this is a way for you to put back into the sorts of places where you started out, they'd probably go, sure. I don't think they'd be that hard-nosed that they would deny, the opportunity for some of their ticket sales to trickle back into the small end of town. And I reckon that's where you could make the volume to be able to do it sustainably rather than because from my point of view, if you, and I've just been putting up shows for an artist that I work with, and we're working on a ticket price of $15 because we want to make sure that it's affordable, right? In a cost of living crisis, real issue. So if we had to put another $5 or even $2.50 on top of that to support insurance and whatever for small venues, that would turn a lot of people who would go see those shows, that would turn them away because it would be crossing the threshold of affordability for them. And the motivation to see a local artist is smaller because, they're more available, they gig more often in your town. Whereas AC/DC, it's probably the last time most of us will ever see them. So there's high demand and people will pay big prices.
Yeah. I don't know why people want to go and see it myself, but that's just me.
Yeah, I saw recent pictures and they look like monkey skeletons.
I'm like, yeah, who wants to see withered old men prancing around on stage, or, but people do like it, people do like AC/DC and things, but
well, you two are awful cruel sometimes, and I love you for it. But I remember seeing AC/DC when I was a kid. Right, it was their first. I think it was the first leg of their European tour for the Back in Black tour. So it was the first UK gig they played with Brian Johnson out front.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool thing to be able to claim in terms of hunting. But I wouldn't go back and see them now, but I can understand why some people who have grown up with bands like that are still hungry to go see them.
Well, I have. Like, I grew up with them as well, and bands like Cold Chisel and the rest of it, the Angels and all the rest. But
Yep.
I like new music as well. I would much
Okay.
personally, I would much prefer to go see a smaller band or a more like an upcoming Australian band, and then go see AC/DC. I just can like that's just me. I know everyone else has got their own. You know, people will enjoy it. Like they like their own music. But for me personally, I'm like, oh no. But like you said, they just broke a record.
Yeah.
They broke the
For one
For
day
the amount of
sales.
ticket sales.
yeah. I got the PR release for it. Yeah,
Right? See something new as well, but we're in the minority.
yeah.
We are, a very tiny minority as well, which is why, how many people are listening tonight?
Oh, I was going to pull up the stats. So the live stream 74.
Oh, really?
No,
Wow.
no, I lied.
Oh. Paul, we discussed this the other week. You can't do that. It gets people angry.
Who's it get angry?
Oh, it got one of our mates angry the other night.
You haven't been receiving hate
What?
mail, have you?
Who? What happened?
Al got Al angry because you lied about stuff.
Oh,
Never mind.
I'm always getting Al though. Al's good to get. Yeah, he's really.
Anyway, my point is that what we're doing is quite niche. I think it is very, very necessary and wonderful and enjoyable, and those people who are tuning in and getting a rare treat.
Yep.
But it's very niche. And there's a reason for that, because we're not mainstream and we never will be. And the mainstream wants nostalgia, they want something familiar, and they want, geeks like us to find the latest big new thing, and then they want to get on board when they go play Perth Arena.
Yep. Well, they've announced. Well, AC/DC's announced the second show in Perth.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Was it? Yeah. I've got ticket tips for fans trying to secure tickets to AC/DC.
Really?
Check your ticket account. Download the Ticket Tech app. Disable VPNs or IP masking tools.
Yep.
Turn off any browser extensions that could trigger bot detection. Join the Ticket Tech Lounge. Don't refresh or close your browser. Use one device only. Avoid multiple tabs. Have your phone ready and be checkout ready. There you go. That's what you have to do.
Yep.
But-
And wow, that's a bit different to. Oh, where have we gone?
Yeah, it's still here.
Oh, I don't know. My screen changed. I thought we'd just disappeared, but we're
no.
back.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a bit different. Giving up outside the box office overnight, which is, what I used to do when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh man, I can remember going to like seeing 1927 in Mount Druitt in New
Yep,
South Wales, and getting your 2-for-1 drinks and walking around and spilling them everywhere and what else? Yeah, back in the day,
Yes.
you get up to all sorts of trouble. Now you can't do that anymore, can you?
No.
Responsible service of
No.
alcohol and.
So I reckon
yeah,
the big end of town.
Pardon?
I reckon the big end of town should pay.
I reckon it's great. I reckon you're onto something there. Maybe we should send the Premier Roger Cook an email saying, "Hey, mate, why don't you put on tariffs?"
It's
Well,
funny
it
you
happens
mentioned.
in the UK.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
I was just going to say, it's funny you mentioned that because I saw an article on Perth Now about people who complain about the noise of loud venues and people wanting the government to crack down on those people and tell them to knock it off because it really affects the status of the loud venues as much as the insurance cost and all that sort of thing.
Oh,
So
that's bureaucracy gone mad. Oh, do you know Luna Park? Have you heard of Luna Park in Sydney?
Yeah.
the one down.
Yeah. They had they've got a roller coaster, and it's been there for forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They built a a block of units beside Luna Park. And the units come right close to the roller coaster. So they can hear people screaming as they go past. And they complained. And the roller coaster can only be operated between certain hours.
Yep.
And it's been there. It had been there longer than anyone, that building that they built there. But, yeah. Hey, who's got a pen and paper? Who's got a pen and paper?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Are you ready to score some quiz questions?
Yeah, come on. Is it, who's asking the questions?
I'm just going to ask from this pack.
Okay,
Music
so it's me versus Tom, is that right?
Yeah, I can't remember who won last time.
I can, because it was me.
Was it? Cool.
There you go.
There you go. All right, so
She did.
Andrea can go first. Which Nina Simone song did the Animals cover in 1965, earning them a transatlantic hit? Was it Feeling Good, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, or I Put a Spell on You?
It was Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood.
Correct.
Oh, I thought it was Feeling Good.
Oh, I wish
yeah,
you'd asked
no.
that question.
This is the first to 10, all right? Which song was the Beatles' first American... This is for you, Tom. Which song was the Beatles' first American #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1964? Please, Mr. Postman, I Want to Hold Your Hand, or Love Me Do? Love me do. You know
I'm gonna say I Wanna
I'll
Hold Your
be
Hand.
true. It was correct. I want to hold your hand. So please, love me do.
Yeah, because Please, Mr. Postman, I believe, is the Ronettes.
Dunno.
Yeah, those. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. It's a girl band, for sure. It wasn't the Beatles,
Yep.
that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because it was... Oh, yeah, no, yeah. So I was thinking T-Bird. He's being grizzling. He's cranky. Baccarat sang the song Yes Sir, I Can, Boogie, Dance, or Groove?
Boogie.
Correct.
Boogie woogie all night long.
Boogie. Oi, don't be rude. Which group's lesser-known members are Mick Avery and Peter Quaife? The Who, the Kinks, the Small Faces.
I'm going to say the Kinks.
Yes, you'll be correct.
You were.
I've just got to give Terence a bit of attention. Give him a bit of an ear rub. Okay, Andrea, in which English city was Olivia Newton-John born? Manchester, Oxford, or Cambridge? Australia.
Australia. Cambridge?
Correct. And everyone thinks that she's Australian. It's like, and
Well, she was.
yeah, well,
But
not
she was
originally.
what?
She could have been a mongrel, half and half.
Yeah.
Are you calling me a mongrel?
I'm a mongrel too,
This is-
mate.
He's calling me a mongrel. His question is
Aussie is my.
as Aussie as
not
John
mine.
as Aussie as John Farnham.
Yeah. See?
He was born
As
in
Aussie
England.
as
John-
Aussie as
John Stevens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he was born in Stock.
As Aussie as Bon Scott.
yeah.
Oh,
As Aussie as Tina
Tom's
Arena.
young kid.
Right, Tom, are you ready? The Monkeys' first
Yeah.
release. The Monkeys' first release was their only UK #1. What was the title? Alternate title: Daydream Believer or I'm a Believer.
Daydream Believer, I believe.
You wrote an article on this. I remember you wrote an article on this, and it's I'm a Believer.
Okay. Is it really?
Yep. Yep.
Who was who? Oh, so that's who was who did Daydream Believer? Daydream
Monkeys.
Believer.
I think they did as well, but their first one was I'm a Believer. The first hit would have been I'm a Believer.
Daydream Believer as well. Ooh,
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
No,
Andrea, in which year did the 1975 release their self-titled first album? 2011, 2013, or 2015?
ooh, 2013.
Correct.
Well done.
That was a pure guess. A pure guess.
All right. Tom,
Nine.
who wrote and performed the duet Shallow with Bradley Cooper? Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus, or Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Yep.
Yay.
Yeah, you got
Was
that
that
one.
the updated A Star Is Born, wasn't it? Was
Yeah.
the
Yep.
hit song that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Andrea. In 1967, who became the first rock artist to ever be arrested on a stage during a performance?
Jim Morrison.
Yeah, I didn't even get to read it out, but yes, correct.
Sorry, what was the question? What did he get arrested for? Indecent exposure and drunkenness in public, I believe.
Oh, so Tom, what was the name of
Yeah.
Pink Floyd's debut single? Flaming, See Emily Play, or Arnold Lane?
I believe See Emily Play.
You believe incorrectly. It was Arnold Lane.
Really?
Yeah.
I would
Can we get a score update, please, Andrea?
It is 5-3.
5-3.
Yeah. It's actually 18 minutes past 7, but
Yeah.
18 past 7.
All right, we're halfway. This is for Andrea. Which instrument did Dave Clark of the Dave Clark 5 play? Drums, bass, guitar, or lead guitar?
I think you played drums.
Yes, you think correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, which English band backed the Everly Brothers for their recording of the album Two Yanks in England in 1966? Oh, let me read that again. Which English band backed the Everly Brothers for the recording of the album Two Yanks in England in 1966? Was it the Hollies, the Yardbirds, or the Birds?
I think the Birds.
You think incorrect. It's the Hollies.
Birds are American.
Oh,
Andrea, what song did Take That have their first UK #1 single with? It Only Takes a Minute, Pray, or Everything Changes?
Oh, this is where I fail miserably. Total guess. Everything changes.
No, it was Pray.
Oh, come on, stop.
I have a chance.
This is where Tom comes in from behind to steal the victory on the finish line. Yeah.
Oh, he's good at doing that. In how many countries did... That's his nickname on the other podcast. Come from behind, Tom.
Give me the question.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. In how many countries did the Spice Girls debut song "Wannabe" reach #1? Was it 19, 26, or 37?
19.
37.
Oh, wow, that's a big number.
Question for Andrea. Dire Straits sang about getting what for nothing? Monkeys, money, or melons?
I'm so tempted to go over some, but it's money. I mean, look at Tom with his head in his hands. Oh boy, I think these questions have been rigged a little bit.
No.
Monkeys. They got all their monkeys for nothing.
No, it was
And traded
money.
them in. I know. I said money.
Oh, you said money. Oh, you glitched out. That's all. So money. Yeah. So you got that correct. Yep. Okay, Tom. Alice Cooper sang "School's Out for Spring Break, Summer, or Winter." School's
Summer.
out for winter. No, summer's
Summer.
correct. Yep, summer's correct. Oh,
All right.
Andrea will get this one. The Doors famously lacked a certain instrument in their setup. Which was it? Guitar, bass guitar, or drums?
Bass.
Yep.
Learn something new every day.
Okay, come from behind, Tom. In what year was Imagine originally released by John Lennon? 1970, 71, or 72?
1971.
Correct.
Okay.
How old was I in 1971?
I don't think you're even a twinkle in your father's eye yet.
Oh, Tom, you're such a gentleman.
How old were you in 1971, Tom?
I was not even a twinkle in my father's eye yet. 20 years I was
Your
born.
Huh?
Sorry. Next question, please.
Which American artist is known as the Queen of Disco? Donna Summer, Diana Ross, or Gloria Gaynor?
Donna Summer.
Correct.
Yes. Do you remember her track "Love to Love You, Baby"
Yep. I love to love you.
and the
Yep.
story behind the recording of that? Have you ever heard that?
No.
No?
Well, look, and I'm quoting from a very old article now that I read when I was an adolescent, let's say,
Yep.
or adolescent. Reputedly, she orgasmed multiple times while recording that track.
Oh.
That's how fucking sexy the song is. Oh, I said that word again. Excuse me. Yeah, very, and a very, very.
I want to know
incredible
how.
artist.
How did she?
There was no talk of how. This was, a long time ago. So the mechanics of orgasms were not talked about, but there was a number put on it. I think it was 24. Quite a long track.
Could you imagine
And
the
all-
7-inch and the 12-inch versions?
Well, yes, indeed. But all power to her for, owning how deeply sexual that song is. I
Yeah.
love that.
The extended long play.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the recording artist, recording producer, pretty much said, "Okay, Donna, I need you to orgasm on command. So do it now, do it now, do it now."
He had a start. He had a starter. No, 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 no.
I reckon she would have been completely in control of all of those things,
Yeah.
including the spreading of the myth afterwards too. So, yeah.
Tom, which singer? That was your question, wasn't it, Donna Summers? Wasn't it, Andrea?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Tom, which
I'm on
singers?
9 and Tom's on 5, so
How many you on?
I'm on 9 and Tom's
Oh.
on 5.
Tom, you're way behind. Which singer hits include "If I Could," "Fall in Love," "If I Could Fall in Love," "Dig In," and "American Woman"? Lenny Kravitz, Michael Jackson, or Prince? "American Woman" you should be able to get it with that one. "American Woman."
Yeah.
Who is it?
Pull
Tom.
me out of my misery.
So, is it Lenny,
it's me.
Lenny Kravitz,
Oh,
Michael Jackson, or Prince?
Lenny Kravitz. I thought it was
Yeah.
Andrea.
No, that was you, Tom.
Oh, sorry, it's you, and it's Lenny Kravitz.
Yep. And for the win, Andrea, what is the name of the Four Seasons 1975 hit? Is it October 1961, November 1962, or December 1963? Oh, what a night. Late.
1963, December 63.
Yep, correct. There you go.
What a great song!
Yep.
And that was Frankie Valli that sang it, yeah?
Yep, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Yep.
Yep, not to be confused with the hotel.
No.
What?
Wouldn't that be a bit of a problem if you wandered into the Four Seasons saying, "Hey, when did the band?
Yeah. Oh, I stayed at the Four Seasons. What a night. Hey, what a night.
Hey, what a night at the Four Seasons!" Yeah, no, they left a long time ago.
We were listening to Donna Summer all night long on the extended play.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm happy now, but anyway, I did.
Cool.
So there you go.
So what's everyone got planned for the next week?
Adding. Sorry, ladies first.
No, Tom, you go. I talk far too much anyway. So I want you to
I was just going to say, adding some big tours to the Gig Guide and other podcasts, and probably watching the footy.
Oh, yeah. The State of Origin.
Yep, you told me I have to watch that, so I do.
Okay.
Go the Blues. Go the Blues. We need the Blues to win. And,
So
I said,
what about yourself, Andrea?
I am at this moment planning on going to the Indian Ocean Hotel on Wednesday to go see their open mic night. A friend of mine will be playing there, and hopefully when Wednesday comes, I won't say, "Oh, it's a bit dark and a bit windy and a bit rainy," and stay home. I hope I will be able to get over myself and get down to Scarborough, which is not far from where I live. So
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's where that's where the cloning are. They're in Scarborough.
Okay. Okay.
From what I see of the weather, it should be all clear until Saturday for a little bit of rain.
All right. Very good. Yeah. No, I like those sorts of things because you get to see new stuff and often it's pretty good.
Have you got a new microphone, Tom?
No, I just fixed my setup a bit to include the microphone that I need to fix onto the other thingy.
The mixer,
that I've got on my desk.
Yeah. Cool. Looking good. Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for joining in on the conversation tonight. And I was going to say, does anyone want to organise a guest for next week?
I said I'd organise one for this week and failed spectacularly. So let me organise someone for next week, and I will not fail this time.
Yeah, that's right.
Got an excuse, but let me organise someone for next week.
Tom had someone lined up as well, but they were doing shows or something. They got busy. It was like, it's great.
Oh.
It's good for us. We asked them if they want to come on the show, and they say they're too busy.
I did have another one lined up, but the gig that I wanted to talk about got cancelled, and they got busy.
Oh well.
Never mind.
There'll come a time when they're asking us if we have space for them, and we have to say, "Oh yeah, no, not until it's 2056 or whatever." So
yeah.
2056.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great catch up with you guys. We're gonna have to start winding down, pull the plug, and we've got another 74 different listeners. Hello, everyone. Actually, I've got to check. I don't think I can from where I'm at, unfortunately. I don't think I can. I can't get the stats up for... I don't know.
I wonder if Cam was listening tonight.
It's okay, Paul. I just asked to make the point that...
We are getting a couple of views, so that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Yeah. So, we're doing all right. For us, considering we haven't advertised it or pushed it or anything yet, which will...
Oh, well, like I said, we can do the Guess What's on My T-shirt competition. You guys would never guess in a million... And I can do the big reveal, right? So
I reckon it's the Angels.
Okay, what about you, Tom?
Bon Jovi.
Oh.
Both wrong.
We can't see the bottom word.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Elaborate. What is it? What's it from?
Oh, Johnny Marr, of the Smiths fame and one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
Gary Moore.
Sorry?
Gary Moore.
No, Johnny Marr.
You said the greatest guitarist of all time.
I said one of the greatest.
Oh, one of. Oh.
One of the greatest guitarists of all time. Quite a different guitar player. I went to see him. God, it was years ago now. He played Metropolis in Fremantle, and it was such a good show.
Wow.
It was what I call a 2 T-shirt night, because I bought a T-shirt, with the album stuff on it and whatnot. And they were selling these ones, and I just couldn't resist. So, Johnny fucking Marr.
There you go.
So
we're going to get a counter up next week. How many times Andrea swears?
Oh shit!
It's going to be a swear.
I'm going to be so good next time. The next time I swear will be when Tom beats me in the quiz, and I'll go, "Oh dear, I'm an unhappy human beings."
No, you can swear. Yeah, people can swear. It's like
just as long as it's not the hard ones.
Yeah.
So I will curb my enthusiasm in future.
Well, it's not like we're going to offend any of our 74 viewers. So.
That I put on today. So,
Nope.
And George Carlin isn't going to be annoyed.
He's dead.
If anyone knows that, yeah, that famous sketch, the 7 words you can say on TV or whatever it was.
No, I don't know that one.
Don't know.
Very funny.
Okay,
Cool,
we'll look
cool.
it up. Must be
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to end this. We'll end the stream. So if you guys want to hang around, we'll do our Cheerios afterwards.
Debrief.
But yeah, well, no, not a debrief. Don't be so formal. Anyway, thanks for another week, another awesome chat and insight into what we can do. We'll come up with some more topics next week and then take it from there. Cheerio.